Hello, good evening. Welcome. This is Hot Edition. We're live money use up here at Desawe Kanda, also live on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're also on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. Remember, Hot Edition is brought to you by Old Mutual. Do great things. We'll tell you more about Old Mutual as we go on here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. And coming up this evening, governing New Patriotic Party gets flag bearer aspirant to commit to accepting the outcome of Saturday's polls. We'll tell you exactly what happened there earlier today.
We're able to get the 4 aspirants contesting all signing an undertaking to accept the primary election results to promote peace and cohesion. In the event that they don't win, they will not resign from the party.
Already there are concerns about whether this is democratic. We'll hear the views of an analyst. Plus, continue our build-up with the focus on the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, here on your Election Command Center. Stay with us here on Hot Edition. Also, kidney disease patients still unable to access the outpatients department services at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Barely hours after the health ministry claimed a directive had been issued for an immediate dialysis opening of that particular unit.
The Honorable Minister have directed that the place should be opened with immediate effect.
We'll give you details of that. Parliament is unhappy and they're demanding answers. The Health Minister has been directed to brief Parliament in the next 7 days about this rather unfortunate situation. And also to remind you that our relief efforts here at Media General continues. We are on our way to Ada now, to Azizanya and some other communities that were affected by the spillage of the Akonsombo and the Kwong dams. We will give you an update on that here on your Election Command Center. Let's get into it straight. Remember, bring you the latest in business, sports and entertainment over the next 60 minutes. We're also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can log on now and get to see all the documents and the videos going to be showing you as we go on here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Let's get into the details now. As aspirants in the New Patriotic Party's presidential primaries have signed an undertaking to accept the outcome of Saturday's exercise. The NPP goes to the polls on Saturday to elect a flag bearer to lead the party in the 2024 general elections. But ahead of the election, some of the flag bearer aspirants have raised concerns of unfairness, amongst others. With 2 days to the polls, the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the former president, John Ejikun Kufuor, who joined via Zoom, met with the party council of elders and also some other party executives and the 4 aspirants. General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia Frempong, addressing the media after the closed-door meeting, says the meeting was successful. We'll give you details of that shortly and exactly what happened. Take a listen.
Family meeting for everyone to make a comment where people have issues, to raise issues, and for us together to resolve any issue that exists. And I can say that the meeting was highly successful, and we give thanks to the Almighty God for seeing us through this very important meeting. I must also acknowledge that at the meeting too, we had some officers of our diaspora party also joining us. The long and short of it is that we're able to get the 4 aspirants contesting, namely Honorable Kennedy Japan, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, Dr. Akoto Afiye, and Honorable Adenimo, all signing an undertaking. And in summary, what they signed to, and I'll read to all of you. 1 is to accept the primary election results. 2, to promote peace and cohesion. 3, in the event that they don't win, they will not resign from the party. 4, to support the winner of the primary. 5, to ensure and enforce mechanism that has been established by the party, and also to work within the timelines and duration that has been established by the party from now to the results are declared, and to respect the decision by the delegates of our party. And these are the signatures of the aspirants who came for the meeting. The reason also why we have called you for this press conference is, as you are aware, election of this magnitude comes with its own challenges. And as a party, together with our able Presidential Elections Committee, we have decided to engage you so that at least certain gray areas or certain potential controversies that can emanate are addressed at this press conference. The chairman.
As Justin Kodia Frimpong is the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party there. The undertaking, among many things, is demanding aspirants will not resign from the party should they lose this election on Saturday. My colleague Eric Mayonek Batais joined me in studio with the details of this undertaking as we've secured a copy of that. Mayona, what more is in there?
Right, so interesting. The circumstances, it took everybody by surprise because what was announced yesterday was a news conference by the party's general secretary and then the chair in relation to preparation towards November 4, which will be providing details to listeners and viewers across all media general platforms. But it turned out when my colleague Evelyn Tingma was there, it was a meeting between the national executives, the Council of Elders, and the President, all present, and we're learning as well that the former President, John Ajikum Kufuor, joined via Zoom as well. And the deliberation centered on ensuring victory for the NPP come elections 2024 and how important it is for the party to remain united. On midday, we played a cue of, or a soundbite of Hakman Owusu-Agyemang, who is the chair of the Council of Elders of the governing New Patriotic Party, and he stressed the need for there to be unity even after the November 4 polls.
We are united. As weak as we are divided, this means we must learn to live together as brothers and listen or perish together as fools, as admonished by Martin Luther King. Dear aspirants, I am very much aware that forgiving and forgetting the most unpalatable abuses and losing an election is not always easy. There may be further ridicule and challenges along the way. This is the nature of all elections. But we should not allow the severest pain to break us. This is the only way our party can stay relevant in this changing political landscape. We should remember that Saturday, 4th November 2023 will come and go and remain only as a memory. But the MPP, if we do not allow our action to destroy it, would exist for some long time to come.
And also, if you listen to Hakman Owusu-Agyemang, there's that clear underlying concern about the possibility of the party breaking into disunity as a result of the disunity after that's November 4.
I mean,
and the indications are quite clear, is it not?
Very clear, if anything is to go by, and we'll just provide listeners a bit more context to this concern. The first is the resignation of Alan Kojo-Kyerematen. And look, there's been a lot of polling done by Global Info Analytics, which consistently indicated the support base of Alan Kyerematen within the NPP. He decided to break away and go independent. After him, there's been an upward trajectory of Kennedy Ohene-Agyapong in relation to the delegates and how well he's been doing in terms of his message, reaching out to the persons who matter in the lead up to this particular elections. And that his narrative has consistently been one which has caused a lot of concern for a number of people. Reason for which they put together this this undertaking, which I'll just run through briefly.
In fact, if you just hold on to the details for me, because it's a very, very important detail we need to put out there for our listeners. And also, if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM927, we're going to put a copy of that undertaking on our Facebook page right now, so you follow us quite closely. Professor Samuel Edujemfi is a political scientist and lecturer at the History and Political Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He's joining us on the telephone. Professor Edujemfi, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition. Now, this move to avoid a repeat of members breaking away from the MPP following the presidential primary, the party asks all 4 aspirants to sign a stringent legal commitment. That is some sort of undertaking. What's your take on this?
Thanks very much, my brother, for having me too. Critically, if you look at the state of affairs, I think it's better they make efforts to salvage what is left. And I think it's a last-minute effort, but better late than never. We have seen how keen the level of contestation has been over time, and the kind of the-cuff movements that Kennedy or any Japan has had over the period, the showdown comments, and I agree. I concur with what your colleague talks about, the resignation of Alan Koducha Martin and all the other divisions that are arising in the course of time, suggest that the party must do something to at least find ways of reducing the kind of negative trajectory that they found themselves at the moment. I am not too sure whether a sore loser would easily, if you like, overcome the kind of pain, or better still, if you look at the kind of accusation which we've heard Mr. Kennedy upon continuously and persistently level against the MPP itself and the organizers of these elections and all that, suggests that it is not going to be an easy situation when he loses the election. After all, he has said that if, among other things, if there is fairness, then he's going to concede and accept the state of affairs or the status quo. I'm not quoting him, but the fact of the matter is that, are we also saying that if the vice president should lose the election, he would also be comfortable, he would also be okay? I think the tussle, if you like, the back and forth is between these two gentlemen. Among other things, the others have come as what I refer to as political escorts, the weight upon them in terms of being able to allow that, losing an election, the pain which comes with losing an election to dissipate, would be easier for, I believe, Mr. Adenimo and Dr. Koto, compared to Mr. Kennedy Japan and the vice president, because it seems to me that the two gentlemen are fiercely contesting in many respects because they believe that they should have the opportunity to lead their party and also eventually become the leaders or individuals who form the government post-2024. I think that they should think about their party first and understand that if they do not have a united front, they would not be able to compete the way they need to compete, and they will not be able to marshal or galvanize the kind of support they would need to be able to march the NDC good for good in the second term of their governance and in the state of affairs where the party itself, the kind of, the plaster or the cement which is holding the intricate part of the party or the mosaic of the party is now beginning to give. That in itself, for me, is problematic, and they must begin to find ways of resolving this quandary. I think what is being said now, the efforts that are being made, the statements they are signing to, these are useful commitments. At least it has a way of toning down the possible brouhaha or the possible, if you like, chaotic situation that might come up in the course of the elections to if you like, reduce a little more than we would have even anticipated. Again, it is important for these individual actors to take it upon themselves, to step up, to begin to engage their followers, to tell them that, look, it's an election. It's going to be difficult for us when we lose, but we should look beyond the election to see the kind of future we want to give to our party, the MPP. And that is something that must come to them in an altruistic sense.
I see.
Selfishness okay.
Prof, you see, the concern that have also been raised that the adherence or otherwise to the details of this undertaking that has been signed by these four that's aspirants would be dependent on what happens on election day, how things play out, whether indeed it's going to be a free, fair, transparent process that would not raise any concern amongst the various aspirants. If there are legitimate concerns about the fairness or otherwise of this process on Saturday, this document that they've been made to sign, will that in any way prevent them from expressing their grievances or their concerns about what happens on Saturday? How unfair or otherwise the process will be?
The possibility that this document will be set aside is very high, and we will not be, if you like, utopian to assume that it's a golden moment once they've signed onto that. I think the fairness as an element, transparency as an element, is what should guide the process, and that should be uncompromising. In that sphere, none of the candidates should compromise on that. Again, the MPP itself owes themselves that duty of care, and to garner democratic credentials, that duty of care, to make sure that they don't muddy the situation on these elections that is within a certain number of delegates, that it's not as huge a number as compared to national elections. And so internally, we anticipate that they will do what is right to ensure that they keep a certain record that would inure to their benefit going forward. Else, the NDC and their opponents, broadly we say that the MPP has proven or demonstrated that they are undemocratic, and internally, their internal democratic credentials or bar has been lowered. So it is essential for them to be responsible at that, to make sure that they maintain the standards that the people are looking up to. The second point is that when the standards are not kept, if they lower the bar, it will not be the call of Kennedy Japon or the call of the vice president or any other person within the contest to even come out to say anything. Their own followers will have something to say, because I dare say that they will not be gagged. They will be freed to the extent that there will be that rising chorus for a certain change within the party. And so I think that they have to be careful not to cause a certain, if you like, volcanic eruption within the party with any degree of unfairness or an attempt to create unnecessary bottlenecks that are artificial and created by their own electoral machinery. Those who are organizing the elections, I believe, are fair arbiters. I believe the Electoral Commission has that responsibility. The Electoral Commission is, insulated from the MPP. I do not want to believe that those who are conducting or the referees of this election have anything at stake in terms of being interested in who becomes the leader. Their only interest is to make sure that they organize this election and they organize it successfully, applying the rules of the game. And I think that if that is the case, then we should not be worried about any questions that will come up. The second point I would want to raise that is closely related to that is vote buying and all that. There is a degree of illegality, in the discussions of vote buying, whether it's a national election, parliamentary election, or an internal party election. And that in itself must be said with some degree of absoluteness, that if anyone decides to buy the vote, it's an insult to the democratic credentials of this country. It's an insult to the kind of internal democratic arrangement of the MPP itself. And it's an insult to the persona of that individual who decides to buy the vote, especially if you want to be a flag bearer and lead the party and become a potential president. That would also be a further insult to the people of this country.
Fantastic. Prophet Ocansey, I thank you so much. And we'll continue this conversation on Ghana Tonight on TV3, right? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. And Professor Samuel Ocansey is a senior lecturer at the Political Science and History Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, joining us on this. And Mauna, he makes the point about the clear concern of that disunity there and what the party has to do, because whatever the details of this undertaking that has been signed, it could be set aside because of what would happen on the Saturday if the process is not free and fair, transparent, and the aspirants, some of them have concerns about the process and how things played out. They would not have any commitment to what has been signed, is it not?
Even the conversation surrounding the content of the undertaking has brought about questions as to whether or not it is democratic. And I was going to walk us through what the contents were. And so, I mean, it goes on, mentions the date and all of that. I'll just move straight on. And like we mentioned, it will be on our social media handles as well, so that listeners can go and
while
check.
You're reading, we'll post it on Facebook.
Right. So
right
I'll start with the acceptance of the primary election result. And it reads that we commit ourselves to accept the result of the November 4, 2023 presidential election of the NPP, and we will respect the outcome irrespective of the result. This is a first point of the declaration, and that's even where people are asking the question that, is this democratic irrespective of the result? And so if I have a genuine concern, as was recorded on August 26th, where the party explicitly stated that you do not display your ballot, and someone does that, and it's recorded all across the country, I cannot raise objection to the fact that an illegality was perpetuated during the election process. Those are some of the questions that have come up with just the first part of this undertaking, where it says that you accept the result irrespective of the outcome. The second is the promotion of peace and cohesion, and this one everybody most likely will agree to, that they will pledge to work together to maintain peace and cohesion within the NPP during and after the primary election, and that they'll refrain from engaging in any actions or rhetoric that may disrupt party unity. The third, which is quite expected because of what we saw from Alan Shermanton, which we'll be hearing a lot from subsequently, and that no resignation from the party, that they are expected to undertake not to leave or resign from the NPP regardless of the outcome of the primary election, and that they shall remain active and dedicated members of the party. The fourth, to support the winner, that they will commit themselves to diligently and conscientiously work to support the winner of the NPP presidential ticket both during the 2024 elections and in securing a sweeping and or working majority in the next Parliament of the Republic, and this support will be aimed at achieving the overall success of the NPP. Enforcement of the mechanisms, any dispute or violations of this Memorandum of Understanding will be subject to resolution within the NPP's established internal dispute resolution mechanisms in accordance with the party's constitution and bylaws.
I see. Now, and it's very fundamental that people raise questions about the democratic details of it or otherwise. If you go on our Facebook page right now, that is our 3FM927, we're streaming live this undertaking, the document that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Kennedy Ohene Japan, Francis Adainimo, and Dr. Owusu Akoto have all signed. They have their signatures there.
Yes, that's the last page.
That's the last page.
You see
with
clearly there.
Professor Aaron Michael
page
Quay
4.
there. And Kwabena Bankwaya Boy is the vice chair of the
elections committee, and then William Yamwa, a member as well. And the date is there, signed on the 2nd day of November 2023. The first person, I think it's in order of the ballot, Kennedy Ohene Japan, lengthy signature. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, signature is there as well. Dr. Owusu Akoto, signature there as well. And then Francis Adainimo, signature, all there, and is subject to the adherence of the party's constitution and bylaws and complies with the legal requirement and customs of Ghana, and it shall be bringing upon the signatories their agent and successors in interest. So those are the details there, Alfred, as we've captured and given to listeners and viewers as well on Facebook.
Great stuff. Mauna, thank you. Appreciate it. Eric Mauna Igbeta is my colleague running through the details of this pact, not some sort of an undertaking that the NPP leadership has committed these 4 aspirants to sign not to resign from the party if they lose the presidential primaries or the flag bearer elections on Saturday. We'll see how things play out here on your election command center. Meanwhile, the party chair, Stephen Ntim, says the NPP will not countenance indiscipline and the behavior, stating the party is determined to win the 2024 elections, and that will start with the outcome of the flag bearer race. We'll give you details of that shortly here on Hot Edition. But following the engagement by the party, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been addressing the media for the first time. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says he is confident of victory come Saturday after the Delegate Congress.
I don't think that there is any...
The Walwali constituency is the second largest in the Northeast region after the Gambaga-Nalerugu constituency. Some 856 delegates from the constituency are expected to vote on Saturday, November 4, to choose a presidential candidate for the governing New Patriotic Party ahead of the 2024 general elections.
In the build-up to the 2024 general election, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is contesting to become the flag bearer of the ruling New Patriotic Party.
Even at night, the euphoria and 100% expectations for the vice president in the constituency are high. The usual meeting of delegates at polling stations and electoral areas is missing here, as it appears all the delegates have decided to vote for their kinsman, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
This region was founded by the vice president, and he who wife gives birth, that's the adult. If your wife gives birth to a baby boy, nobody will come and do the adult. If you give birth to something, go and do the adult. He has created the region, so he must benefit from us by the delegates in the East region giving him 100% support.
Bawumia is going to get 100% as we gave him in the super delegates contest.
Absolutely nothing can influence them.
This policy of delegates caucus season is not in the northern sector. We are looking for somebody who will develop north. You know, we are far behind, and we need somebody who will develop the north, not somebody who will give you money to go and spend. But we are going to vote for somebody who will really develop north, so that the gap between northern and southern will close. These are the reasons why we are going to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
You go to give him information, he does not react immediately. You will find him nodding his head. People even call him the lizard that nods his head. And he nods his head and he does a research into what you have told him. So he doesn't take things for granted or rush into doing things.
According to delegates and some supporters of Dr. Bawumia, it is time to pay him back for the development he brought to the constituency and the Northeast region.
A lot has been done.
Yes, the vice president is somebody who is very respectful. He values human beings as the way he values himself. You respect human beings. If he sees you, he wants you to come closer, and then you have a conversation, discuss one or two things.
On August 26, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia secured 100% of the votes in the Superdelegates Conference in the Northeast region. With over 3,500 delegates expected to vote in the region on November 4, delegates believe the Vice President will again secure 100% of the votes.
Since the coming into being of the Fourth Republic, Northern Ghana has produced most of the running mates and vice presidents for the ruling New Patriotic Party.
Will Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia be the first presidential candidate from the Northern Ghana to run on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party going into the 2024 general elections? Well, he will have to beat 3 other contenders in the race if he is to lead the New Patriotic Party. Trust your Elections Command Center to bring you all the conversations and reports on the NPP presidential primaries across the country.
Christopher Wang, East Region.
And this is your Election Command Center. We'll stay a bit with politics as we build up to the NPP flag bearer race. That's the election on Saturday, November 4. Now, this time with the former member of parliament, that's a former member of the NPP, Alan Kojo-Kyerematen, who is now declared is going independent because he stressed the need for electors to change the face of Ghanaian politics and says that time is now. He told a charged crowd at the CCB auditorium of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology on Thursday. William Evans Sinkom was there, my colleague. Is going to be connecting with us on the telephone shortly to find out exactly what Alan Kojo-Kyerematen has been talking about 2 days before the NPP's flag bearer elections. Stay with us here on your election command center. We'll get into that shortly and the specific instance of what Alan Kojo-Kyerematen has been talking about and the build up to the NPP's flag bearer elections on Saturday. There are some 227 centers that this voting will be taking place on Saturday, and we'll be monitoring that every step of the way here on your election command center. So stay with us. We'll give you details of it shortly, and then also our men on the ground and following every step of the way, and up until now following the candidates and bringing you all the details and the responses to the questions we've been asking about what the situation is here on your election command center. I'll come back to it shortly, but kidney disease patients yet to access OPD services at the renal dialysis center at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital hours after the Ministry of Health claimed to have given a directive to that effect are not happy. They have called on Parliament to intervene on this matter urgently. Now, the renal dialysis center at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, a vital facility for patients in need of dialysis, has been temporarily closed for several weeks. This closure has prompted calls for civil society organizations and the general public for its immediate reopening. In response to this, the health minister, in close consultation with the chief executive of Korle Bu, has taken a decisive step to reopen the facility to OPD services with immediate effect. Here's Isaac Ofei, Public Relations Officer of the Health Ministry.
No Ghanaian has been caught up in the attacks, and the Ghanaian community is safe. As of now,
we'll bring you shortly details of that and what the Isaac Ofei has been talking about. He's a public relations officer of the Health Ministry. But the kidney disease patients say the place is still closed to OPD services. Kojo Bafo Ahinkra is convener for the kidney dialysis patients, and he's joining us on the telephone. Kojo, now you've been to the facility this afternoon, I understand, and tell us exactly what happened there.
Okay, I was going for my lab report, so I went to the facility. But when I went there, it's the same old story. They were just doing it for the inpatient and that of the emergency cases. We, the OPD, we've not had any communication. I also heard it on the news that it's supposed to be open to the OPD. But when I got there, there was no information that it's open to the OPD. What I saw was that they were doing the ward cases and that of the emergency. That is what I saw this afternoon, around 2.
I see. But this is what the Isaac Ofei, who is the public relations officer of the Health Ministry, said. And then kindly take a listen.
There have been a number of calls from civil societies, the general public, that the place should be open. This has moved the Honorable Minister, who had summoned a meeting between him and the Chief Executive. So the Honorable Minister have directed that the place should be open with immediate effect. We are hoping that the Korle Bu CEO, as discussed, will move on and make sure that the place is open for patients with those effective issues to be able to attend to their needs at the center.
This is the PR of the Health Ministry. This was 7 hours ago. And you say that as we speak, the dialysis, that's the renal dialysis center, OPD services, are still not available to you.
Yes, they've not communicated anything to us. Like, you just play the soundbite to me. Yes, but the point is, you see, before me, what we were doing was that, each person has got his day of dialysis, and before then, they will call you. like today being Thursday, by now they'll call the Friday people, give them time that they are supposed to report tomorrow. And nobody has called us. Nobody has communicated anything to me from the Kulibu management that maybe talk to your people. We are starting effective tomorrow now. We've not heard anything. Like I said, I was going for my lab report today, and I passed through the place. So when I went, I even spoke to them though. It's on the news that they say you should open it too. They say they've not received any directive from anywhere. And what the instructions given to them, they're supposed to do the inpatient and that of the emergency. And that is exactly what I saw around 2 p.m. What I saw was, about 4 patients on the machine, and they were on admission. So they brought them for dialysis. No OPD case was there. So I don't know. Maybe probably if they are now going to communicate to us or not, I don't know. But as I speak to you, there's no any communication between we, the OPD, and that of the Kulibu management. And the place has not been open to OPD. If they are now about to do, then we are yet to hear. But as I speak to you, there's no any information like that. Alfred.
I see. Now, and I'm sure this must be troubling for you, the members. How are you coping with this situation all as well?
I wish maybe you have a look at my face now. The last time I managed to get something and went for the dialysis was Monday. And from Monday to now, I've not gone again. And my face is getting bloated. I don't have the money to go for the private. Now the private sector even started increasing it. Some of the private sectors have started increasing their price. So it's so worrisome. We don't even know what to do. And people are just dying. You don't even know who is the next person to die. We don't even know who's the next person to die. If you see my face right now, my face is puffy. I have to get some money and go and do it tomorrow. Because it's like from Monday to now, it's passed over to the time for me to go and do it. And the means is not there. Trying to now solicit for fun and go and do it tomorrow. So it's very worrisome. Not me alone. All of us. Most of the OPD people are now going on the admission because they are not feeling well. They are sick. So when they report for sick, per their condition, they will not allow them to go. So they go on admission. And when you go on admission, they will take you to the police and dialyze you.
Now, you were saying that the private facilities have started increasing their dialysis cost. How much? If you do you have the figure?
Some of them have started increasing. Normally, it's just around. We were doing 5.5. Some were doing 6.5. Some were doing 8.5. Some were even doing 9.5.
Is it now? You mean 9,500?
No, 9 million.
950 Ghana cedis.
Yes, per session.
Per session. And you have to do this 3 times a week.
3 times a week or two times a week. Either you do 3 or either you do 2. Most of the people, because they don't have the means, they are doing twice a week. But on the requirement from the doctors, you're supposed to do 3 times a week. But the means is not there, so you manage the 2. Me, I'm supposed to do 3, but the means is not there, so I'm doing 2.
Wow. And we understand, unfortunately, because of this situation at Kolebo, a number of your members are no more.
Yes, 19. From May. Yes, from May. Since they closed the unit to the OPD cases, from May 22nd. So now, we've lost 19 people.
And the ministry is aware of this?
Alfred, we've been speaking on air. We've been doing interviews. I'm sure they've heard it. Even though we've not written to them officially, I'm very sure they've heard us because we've been doing interviews, we've been going on TV, we've been talking. I'm sure they've heard it. And why would we will not even lie. Why would we know ourselves. We speak to ourselves almost day. You hear today, this person is gone. You hear today, this person, putting it together. 19. You don't even know who is going next.
How is the lack of urgency to deal with this matter affecting you?
Alfred, really, it's affecting us really, really serious because this is a serious thing. You see, I keep saying that now. First, they keep saying that kidney is those who drink alcohol and those things.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw the interview that we did, look at the girls. Between somebody had it when she was 16, now she's 22. Somebody had it when she was there. So it's the age rate, mostly of them is between from 19 to 25. Young girls and boys. We have minors. We have 9 years. We have 13. We have 16. They are all the dialysis machine. Now, why would their parents get money to pay these things? So immediately, as early as possible, the government should do something, especially the taxes on it. They should waive it off so that the private sector can also bring the prices down because that is what they are also saying, that the duties that they pay on the machines are too expensive. So if they are paying, they need to get their money back. So as urgency, those taxes need to be weighed off so that the private sector too can also come down. Now, apart from that, if they don't do that, and they do that for Kolebu, everybody will be coming to Kolebu, and Kolebu cannot hold the pressure.
That's true.
Kolebu can never hold the pressure. I'm telling you, even we in Kolebu, we are normally almost 250. That is the outpatient. Since we left there, we don't even know how many that is coming to add to us. You understand?
And you're saying that 9-year-olds are on the dialysis?
Yes, we have 9 years old on dialysis.
A 9-year-old?
Yes. We have 13. We have 16. The 13 years girl, she came on when she was, I think, yes, when she was 13 years. Now she's 16. She has been on the machine for 3 years. The mother cannot even pay. Sometimes when they come there, they finish. We ourselves, we have to collect something, give to the mother for transportation back home.
Kojo, I thank you so much for this, and we will continue to create this platform for you to air some of these rather unfortunate situations and make that urgent call to the ministry to ensure that the right thing is done. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
Welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Kojo Bafo Ahinkra is convener of the kidney dialysis patients who have come together to make that clarion call for urgency, some level of urgency to be attached to this situation. And Kojo,
yes, sir.
Meanwhile, the health minister, Kwejima Meno, has been summoned to Parliament over the closure of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital Renal Unit for 4 months and counting. With a unified voice, both minority and majority are demanding an opening of the facility whilst the health minister appears before the House on Thursday, November 9. Now, Kwabena Kando, ranking on the Health Committee, Frank Ano Dompre, Majority Chief Whip, and Andre Siama have been speaking in Parliament earlier today.
Mr. Speaker, Parliament as a whole should be deeply concerned about the persistent closure of the renal unit outpatient department at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. This situation has far-reaching implications for the well-being of dialysis patients in Ghana and raises serious questions about the commitment of government to transparency and accountability in our healthcare institutions. In the initial case of the facility's closure was attributed to scarcity of essential medical consumables required for dialysis. When dialysis medical consumables were finally procured, the service saw an unprecedented increase in fees from 380 Ghana cedis to 765.42.
Let's go on to the telephone now. Kwabena Kando is ranking on the Health Committee of Parliament. He's joining us. Honorable, I thank you for joining us here on Hot Addiction. So you just heard the convener for the persons living with kidney diseases talking to us about how dire this situation is. The health ministry had indicated that the OPD service at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has been opened as at the earlier in the afternoon. We checked, and as at now, the OPD services are still closed. So is Parliament aware of this?
Who am I speaking to? Ocansey?
Yes, this is Alfred Ocansey. Yes.
Alfred. Okay. Alfred, since I was born, I've never seen such an insensitive government in my life before. Unfortunately, I couldn't listen to the spokesperson for the renal patient, but this issue has gone on for some time now, and you agree with me. We've had some conversations on it on your platform.
Indeed.
We've come from a very far point from when they announced the increment, and we told them it was illegal, engaging the management of Kolebu. If you recall, we went back to Kolebu to find out whether the outpatient unit has been opened. We, the minority members on the health committee, had to engage the Minister for Health. He gave us all the assurances in the world that as soon as possible, then the unit was going to be opened. After that time, we were on recess. So today, I made a statement on the floor of the House. I don't know whether you've had a copy of that statement. And so we are members of Parliament. Parliament is our office. It is the tool available to us to do our work. And so today, after the statement was made, I demanded that the minister responsible for health should, as a matter of urgency, cause the renal unit to be opened immediately, and that he must come to Parliament to tell us why that unit has been closed for that long. You have a copy, and a number of suggestions in that. Among them is the fact that anything that has to do with dialysis, its importation, consumables, and what have you, we should not have any tax on them, whether government or private. It's in the statement. And so when the majority chief whip was contributing to the statement, before you make a statement, the speaker has to admit, and you have to give a copy to leadership. So after giving a copy to the majority side, when he was making his submission, he said that before he spoke on the floor, that he had made some inquiries and that he was going to make a statement and that the unit was going to be opened and that the minister directed that it was opened immediately. And so I do not understand, although I'm not surprised, because a series of assurances have been given and has not been fulfilled. But I still can't imagine that we find ourselves in this situation. At least people, if for nothing at all, people are dying. This has to do with lives. And as the last time I checked, about 19 patients have died from May till now. People are dying. And the president can't do anything. All we are doing is talking. That the minister can't do anything. That the vice president wouldn't do anything. And nobody cares. For me, it fits my imagination, Alfred. I don't just understand. As a minority member and a ranking member, my responsibility is to put the executive on its toes to do the needful. Alfred, tell me, what else should I do that I have not done? Tell me, so that I can do it. Tell me. I just don't understand. I don't. We waste a lot of money on needless issues in this country. Just a deficit of 4 million Ghana cedis. People are dying, losing their lives, because they can afford to travel outside the country to, do it in most expensive hospitals, because whatever the rate they can afford, nobody seems to mind. Afraid. It's a problem. I don't understand. But let's wait to see when the minister will appear on the floor of the House.
Right.
He's been given on the 9th to appear, and he will come and tell us if it will make any sense at all.
7 days from now. I thank you so much for this, and we will definitely be in Parliament to hear, and also I'm sure you would have some questions for him. And I appreciate your time on the book of Namita Kando.
You're welcome, Alfred.
He's a member of Parliament for the Jaboso constituency, is a ranking on the Health Committee of Parliament. Kobanamita Kando there. This is Hot Edition. We're live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and also on W93.5 in Wa and beyond. Hot Edition is brought to you by Old Mutual. Now, benefit from our expertise in offering comprehensive business solutions. Find insurance policies that shield your business from the uncertainties of financial loss, and also benefit from our 10 years of existence here in Ghana. Old Mutual do great things.
At Old Mutual, many aspects of your business growth are our business. From insurance for your employees so they can provide their loved ones with a secure future, to pension fund solutions to ensure employees a reliable retirement plan. Protect and sustain your employees and business with Old Mutual. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Hello there, welcome to the business segment here on Hot Edition. My name is Michael Obudu. Coming up, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta hints 2024 budget statement will focus on economic growth and job creation. We have the details coming up shortly. Well, thank you for staying with us. My name is Michael Obudu, and details of our stories now. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has revealed that the 2024 budget will focus on economic growth and job creation. The minister is expected to present the government's fiscal plan for the said year on the 15th of November. Speaking at the first Mutual Prosperity Dialogue jointly organized by the International Finance Corporation, Ken Ofori-Atta said his outfit, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, is working on a new regulatory framework to improve ease of doing business in the country.
As part of the 2024 budget, government will also roll out its growth strategy to complement the macro-fiscal reforms we are implementing under the IMF ECF program. This is to ensure that growth, jobs are critical components of the growth that we envisage. The Minister of Trade, who is here with us, also seeks to aggressively unbundle the business regulatory environment and promote our Free Zones program for exports and job creation. And as he said, we intend to fashion new regulatory processes to ensure that the country is an attractive place for both domestic investors and foreign investors. There are significant opportunities in a number of areas that the Ministry of Trade has identified, so there is room for everyone on our journey towards co-creating our mutual prosperity.
That was Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta speaking there. Now, in an effort to mitigate the impact of climate change, Deputy Minister of Finance has disclosed Ghana is working to make approximately 24 million carbon credits available for transactions on the compliance market by 2030. Dr. John Kuma made the disclosure when he opened a 3-day conference of experts from the West and North Africa region of senior officials on sustainable governance.
As part of our updated nationally determined contribution, Ghana is poised to have approximately 24 million of carbon credits available for transactions on the compliance market by 2030. This underscores our dedication to reducing carbon emissions and mitigating the impacts of climate change. We believe that green business and green jobs not only benefit our environment, but also offer enhanced financial and social returns compared to traditional business as usual.
So here the Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma speaking there. Well, that will be all for the business segment here on Hot Edition. For more business stories, kindly check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next, sports.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on the Hot Edition. My name is Billy Shen. Let's start from local football, where in the Ghana Premier League, Nswatreman have moved on to the top of the table after defeating Asante Kotoko by 1-0.
Emmanuel Kote swings in across, a chance for, beautiful goal! Abdul Manaf Umar!
Well, that was the goal from Nswatreman, but on social media, a lot of rumblings were happening because there's a possible offside for Nswatreman's goal, and it should not have stood. Now, sports journalist Victor Achutamaklo, who watched the game, gives his verdict on that one.
I thought it looked pretty straightforward for the referee's assistant to have picked up, because as of the time the cross came in from Emmanuel Kote, Abdul Manaf Umar, who was on the receiving end, was onside. The problem, however, was Stephen Diu, who got the final touch to the ball. He sneaked in at the far post on the blind side of the defender, but definitely within the eye view of the referee. And I thought he should have seen that. Not the center referee, because I thought there were too many players in the box for Maxwell Hansen, the referee, to have seen it, but definitely should have been picked up by the assistant on the far side.
That was the verdict there given by Victor Achu Tamaklo, a sports journalist who follows the Ghana Premier League keenly. And he has stated that this was a clear offside call and the referee should have chalked that goal off. Now let's move abroad, where Mohamed Kudus scored for West Ham last night as they beat Arsenal by 3-1 in the EFL Cup to book a place in the quarterfinals. Now he says the pass made it easy for him to score that goal.
Yeah, the pass was so good that I didn't have to do much, because he almost ended up in the box and I just had to take my shot and then shoot, So thanks to Nair for that fun.
That was Mohamed Kudus there on his goal that he scored last night as West Ham beat Arsenal by 3-1. Now, Brazil forward Rodrigo has signed a new contract. He's extended his contract at Real Madrid till 2028 with a reported release clause of €1 billion. The 22-year-old has scored 39 goals in 179 games for Real and has also scored. He's also had 18 Brazil caps. Now he joined the club Real Madrid aged 18 from Brazilian side Santos. That brings an end to the sports segment here on the Hot Edition. My name is Billy Shen, and up next is entertainment with Akofa standing by.
It's now time for the entertainment news segment here on Hot Edition, powered by 3FM 92.7. It's now time for the entertainment news segment, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. Some of Ghana's biggest music stars volunteer their voices on Wednesday night to entertain and raise funds for families and communities affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. Adam Go Get 'em, Kwabna, Joe Metal, Kecheras, Kuku, and Eno Baroni were among the performers who signed up to ask for contributions at the MG Relief Concert.
Since the flood submerged settlements along the lower Volta Lake in the north, south, and central Tongu districts of the Volta region in October this year, Ghanaian celebrities have been showing solidarity with families affected by the Akosombo Dam spillover. The premises of TV3 was the setting on Wednesday, November 1, for the charity concert powered by Media General to appeal for help for victims of the flood. Dubbed the MG Relief Concert, the fundraiser event was graced by high-caliber artists who took turns to share their craft in solidarity with those displaced by the widespread flooding.
Everybody let's go. Pressure. This fundraising, it means a lot to us. Pachayanko together. Star 713 star 221 hash. Sekechejina ha. Yene Yebra Ashman OJ, CEO of Trapstar Records. Yekita Yensim 3,000.
Wow! Yes. Awesome. Joe Metal, Nero X, Sabiana, and Adam took to the stage not just to treat fans to back-to-back hits. They assured the people of Mepe, Bato, Sogakope, and Mafi that they cared about them.
Lashima, Bakoba, give me dance song. What we gonna do? What you gonna do? How we have to jump every day? That's not easy.
Donate now to support. Star 713 star.
Yes.
221 hash. Slogan is no amount is too small.
Okay. The time with Kwabna was never a dull moment.
I'd like to say a very big thank you to all who donated. We're still asking you to do so if you haven't done so already. Check out our social media platforms for how you can do that. And finally, before I go, join us tomorrow, Friday, November 3, for the 3FM Corporate Connect at the Shades Lounge and Restaurant, Osu, Oxford Street, opposite ShopRite, after work. Come through, mingle with CEOs, top business executives, entrepreneurs, and like-minded people at the most exciting corporate networking event in Accra. Now, for reservations and more information, call 0532 200 927. 3FM Corporate Connect. Come and let's unwind and network. And that's how we wrap up the entertainment news segment here on Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. Thanks for listening and keep your dial locked on. This is your Urban Lifestyle Radio.